Hi,
Hello.
hi, nice to meet you, Eicca.
Nice to meet you too.
My name is Ivanichka, and you are a special guest in our Small Talks video podcast.
Yeah.
First, thank you for this.
You're welcome.
It's such a great work, really.
I can't remember anything. Can't tell if this is true or dream. Deep down inside, I feel to scream. This terrible silence stops me. Now that the war is through with me, I'm waking up. I cannot see that there's not much left of me. Nothing is real but pain now. I hold my breath as I wish for death. Oh, please, God, wake me.
Tell me what made you go back to the beginning to covering Metallica music 30 years later.
Yeah. You know, the idea to make the second Metallica album has been always around since the first album. And we've been always saying that, yeah, we should make another one someday. But earlier there was not enough reason or interest for it. I think now what happened now, there's several reasons for that. But one was the 20th anniversary tour we did some years back. And it was so much fun to go back to Metallica tunes and play them with all the experience we have gathered over the years. And I think now it felt, because earlier many times it felt like it's a little bit boring, you know, to go back to the old and kind of a step backwards. But now it started to feel like, no, it's actually a step forward, because we have to reinvent the whole idea of what it means Apocalyptica plays Metallica, because it has changed so much over the years. And so it started to become like an exciting challenge for us. Okay, what can we do? How can we do this that it's great, you know? And yeah, I don't know. It just felt right. It felt more like a step forward than backwards. Maybe 10 years ago, it would have felt like, oh, now we go backwards. We are not kind of evolving.
Yes.
And going forward, but now it felt very exciting. That's the main reason.
Yes, and in this case, did you work differently with Metallica music now? After 30 years, you are on stage.
Oh yes, definitely. I think the biggest change was that we gave ourselves much more freedom to how we develop, how we work on the music, and we really, this time was really like, okay, every song needs to really have a reason to be on the album, which means that the Apocalyptica version needs to be great. So it was not about which are great Metallica songs. It was actually which Metallica songs turn out great Apocalyptica versions. And that are we able to bring something new out of the original songs, or kind of give a new perspective to the original music. So I think we were challenging ourselves much more in that sense, because in the very beginning, we just played Metallica music with the instruments we can play, with our cellos. So it was pretty straightforward and simple in a way for us. But now it was more about really diving deep into the core of every song and trying to figure out what are the things and elements that makes this song to be this particular song, and then kind of extract that and then bring it out with Apocalyptica sound. And kind of the point of view how we feel the music now. So it was very different.
You feel it really great, really. And can you remember the first Metallica reaction when you invited them to be part, to collaborate with you for some songs?
Yeah, it was more like we didn't really invite them in a way. It was more like I presented the ideas first to Lars, because when we started to work on this album, we had no idea that we would try to get Metallica involved in this album. But while we were working on the song, certain ideas started to come up, And then when we had those ideas together, I just reached out to Lars Ulrich and said that, okay, we're working on this record and we are thinking this and these things would be super cool, would work great on our versions, and just to see if they get excited about it. So the same thing happened. Then I spoke with Rob to play bass on Four Horsemen, and then James to do the narrator role on one. So it was more up to like this is what we think would be great. Let us know what you guys think. Do you agree or what? So it was very, very kind of went very naturally. We were not like we have to get this or we need to get James into this. That was the song all those versions would have happened without Metallica as well. But it was just like it felt like right that it would be so cool, if we can do this together. So.
What's the case with the Call of Ktulu with Cliff riffs? Will you tell me the story? It's really interesting. The original riffs are in your recording.
Yeah, it's I really wanted to make the song because it's one of my favorite. It's been one of my favorite songs, Metallica of all times. And then some years ago, I realized that a lot of these magical sounds in there that I've been always very excited about, they actually come from the bass track. And they are coming from the idea of, wow, it would be so cool if we could use that bass track for that. And when I told that to Lars, he was like, wow, he was like, Eicca, I like your ideas always because they are so out of the box, like there's something different. But then he was like, but it might be very difficult because James needs to approve, the Clif Bъртън family needs to approve, and then whoever owns the rights and so on. So it seemed very complicated in the beginning, but then everything step by step just got figured out, and it was incredible to actually get the access to the bass track and get the permission to modify it and edit to fit our version, our arrangement of the song. So for me, it's absolutely one of the biggest highlights and kind of craziest things on the album is that Clif Bъртъn is one of the greatest bass players in rock and metal music of all times, and it's so wonderful that with this version we can kind of it's kind of like a memorial for him, like outlining that his great work. So yeah, we really wanted to make then the arrangement around that, around the bass performance.
Yes, was there a reaction from Clif's family before the official release of the song? Did they?
Oh yes.
And what was the reaction?
Actually, the whole thing, I accidentally happened to meet Clif's half sister or stepsister, half sister. That is actually taking care of the Clif Bъртън legacy, and she loved the idea because she was like, "Oh, this is something that Clif would have loved."
Ooh.
Clif would have been excited about, to do something with you guys, and so they were very, very excited about the whole thing.
Strong word.
So that's why it happened. That's why it happened that everybody was excited about it.
Yes, and in the whole process of recording and writing this album, did you ever heard no from Metallica for some of your ideas?
No, not really. It's basically, we wanted to get Lars as well to play, but then Lars was on some, but it was like, I've been thinking about it, but if you have James and Rob and there's the Cliff track, me being on the album, it would be too much Metallica. So the focus needs to be on you guys, and it's better that I don't be there, because then it will be all about it will be all about Metallica, and it shouldn't be. So that was his response. So he was very excited to participate on the album, but then he was thinking it over, and he was like, maybe it's better not this time,
Next time. For which song did you want Lars on the drums?
It was pretty open on that stage.
Yes.
It was more like, okay, let's find something cool, not to ask him to play what he does with Metallica. That wouldn't have any sense. Maybe do some percussions or some crazy stuff. So that was, but that was still, that was more open kind of at that stage.
Yes, and since you've already have this recording, do you think about something live together with Metallica, some concerts maybe? It will be great, I don't know.
No, there haven't been any discussion about that. I think they are just finishing their touring cycle, and I think they don't even know themselves what's going to happen next, when it's going to be next Metallica shows. But I think the whole idea of Apocalyptica to open, for example, for Metallica and Metallica concerts, it shouldn't be based on us playing Metallica. It would make sense. So it should be Apocalyptica on its own and based on our original stuff. So, but
no, not too open.
You never know.
Together on the stage. I want to see you together on the stage. It will be maybe epic. I see it in my dreams.
Yeah, we done that once. We did on the 30th anniversary show, Metallica's 30th anniversary show in San Francisco. We played a couple of songs together. That was really cool.
Yes, I'm sure that it was cool. If you let me take you way back in time, when and how you personally connect with Metallica music?
I think I was around 13 years old when I heard. First time I heard the song that really got me was Orion from Master of Puppets album. So that was kind of my gateway into Metallica's music, because it was instrumental, and I was not so familiar with kind of the full metal sound. I had been listening to artists like Billy Idol and Yngwie Malmsteen, but it's not that kind of harder metal. So I think that's why the instrumental Orion really captivated me, that it was approachable because of the sound. And then I got into the Metallica style, and I've been hardcore metal fans ever since. So.
And was Orion the first song you tried to play on cello?
No, the first 4 songs were all from the Ride the Lightning album. And the reason was that when I thought that, okay, I want to make some arrangements for us, then I had to have notes on that time, and so I had money to buy only one sheet music book. So I went to music store to buy this Ride the Lightning guitar tablature book, and I think we did Escape, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Creeping Death, and I think it was those 3.
What do you think is the hardest thing for people to understand in your music, in this collaboration between classical instruments and metal, thrash metal in this case?
I think in general, it seems to be hard to understand, for the people to understand it. Music is just music, People want to label it too much, and music is just about emotions, and it's very personal what kind of emotions you get from different music. But it's not genre driven necessarily. Okay, some people, they like music that is a certain way always, and they don't care so much. But if you really actually love music and like music, you can get same kind of feelings and emotions from all kind of music styles. So I think people try to make it more complicated. Okay, what is the connection between metal and classical music? And I'm like, what's the connection between music in general? You know, what is classical music even? It's like thousands of different composers from many centuries. Everybody has a very different style of writing music and very different emotion in the music. So there is no such a thing as like classical music in that sense, you know, existing. So I think maybe the biggest difficulty for us is this: how to describe Apocalyptica. Because if we say metal, then some people that, oh, then it's not for me. But because Apocalyptica is not only metal as a music style, for me, metal is an attitude. It's not a music style. It's a certain attitude that you have a lot of intensity. It doesn't need to be loud and harsh. It can be slow and mellow and can still have a lot of intensity. So metal is intensity level for me. But it's the hardest thing is that people have labels. You know, if you say metal, people think certain thing.
Yes.
And if I tell people that Apocalyptica is metal, and that then I'm like, but hey, listen to it, because it's not the metal in the way you think. Part of it is, but then we have a lot of some music that could be classical, described classical or cinematic or you know, whatever. So I think that's the hardest part, is the categorizing, because people like to categorize, and Apocalyptica can't be categorized in a traditional way.
How good you said it. Thank you. It's important for people to open their borders for music, only to feel it, not to make labels of it. And
yes.
Okay, what is cello for you? Is it only an instrument? What is for you?
Kind of, it's just an instrument, but also it's very huge part of my identity, because I grew up spending a lot of time with the cello as an instrument, and for me it's also a very special way to express myself. So yeah, it's many things. It's many things. It's part of it. It's just an instrument, you know. Instruments make noise, you know, and or you make noise with instruments, and yeah. But of course, I played pretty much all my life, and when you grow up, like playing certain instrument every day and trying to learn it and study and master it, of course, it becomes very big part of you and who you think you are, you know.
Yes, I understand. It's part of you. Have you ever wanted to play another instrument, not only cello, something more guitar or bass guitar? I don't know.
Yeah, I play drums, and I play guitar in my own way, and I play many instruments. Not so great, because I have not studied them, so I do it on my own way. But for example, when I'm composing, I like to use different instruments as kind of source material, because the sound what you create inspires a lot what kind of composition you will do. You know, what kind of things it excites you. So I use a lot of instruments for exploring, yes, you know, ways to create music. So, but I'm not really great on any other instruments. Drums I can play fairly okay, but I haven't played in maybe 5 years or 6 years, so you never know.
Okay, at the end, please, can you tell something for your Bulgarian fans before your concert on 28th of November here in Sofia?
I don't know how many times we've been in Bulgaria, but very many times, and it's every time it's a great pleasure and super exciting for us, and especially now when we come, it's a new program. It's only Metallica songs, and song from the new album, but also the old Metallica versions, but in a new way, and it's a new production. So it's kind of evolved since the last time, in very many ways, in all aspects. so what we're gonna do, what we want to do, we want to always deliver the best we ever can for our fans, and we are very grateful and we appreciate everybody who's coming there. So that's kind of our duty, that we come there with open hearts and open minds, and together we're gonna create something really magical, a night that we all can remember forever. So we want to welcome people, even people who would have seen Apocalyptica many times in the past. It's going to be something new. It's going to be something totally different than it has been before. And of course, also for people who have heard about Apocalyptica but never seen live, I want to say that Apocalyptica is something that you really have to see. You have to experience it live, because that is the way how the whole picture, all dimensions of what it actually means when we play metal with cellos, what it actually means. You can get glimpses on YouTube or listening to the music, but to fully understand it and fully really let it hit you deep, you have to come to the show. So welcome. We are very excited.
You're welcome in Bulgaria every time. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, and see you there.
Bye,
Yes.
Eicca.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.